Media. Checking in. 1, 2, 3. Yes, my friends. The older man is back. 8 p.m. New York time. Shout out to my family in Rum Point, in Cayman. My extended family in Cayman. I'm just telling you guys, I'm here. Welcome. Wow. 16 already. You guys are waiting, man. Awesome. Yes. We got a hot one today, boy. Hashim, I see you. Lisa, always here on time, boy. I love when I see the regulars back in. Yeah. All right, Sarah. Stop pinging me. You're interrupting my show. Come on in the comment section. So Sarah is one of my sisters in Cayman, and my whole extended family is over there right now. They're in the north side of the island having a family get together. All right, let me turn that music down. Yes, my friends, we're going to have a hot show today. Well, tonight, you know. I always have to remember the time zones, you know. It's still dark outside for me. 4 a.m., 4:02. And we're going to have a very, very interesting show today. Wow, 41. Guys, as you come in, please like. I got to keep remembering to tell you guys to like so that the algorithm can keep pushing it out to more and more people. Big up to you, my brothers. Yep. All right. So, what is a high value woman? This is the big issue. What makes a woman valuable? Yeah. This one's gonna sting for a lot of women. The problem that I think we primarily have is that we have really big up women to the point where they honestly think that their value exceeds a man. Yeah, I turned the music off there deliberately just so I can hear women grab their pearls. Oh my God, we're not. Well, and rightly so. I mean, hey man, women are the other half of our species. But we seem to be the only species on Earth that push the woman to a point where she feels that she has excelled the man. And here's the problem with that. We never accounted for something called hypergamy. That is the problem. Society have pushed women to a point just to get them out of the home so that they could pay more taxes. Promote them in the workplace. Provided grants for colleges. Push them to excel. And now we are at, 30, 40 years of pushing? What has happened? More and more women have excelled to a point where she feels not only superior to men. We have a media that just keeps pushing this idea that women are superior. Women, little skinny, beautiful little women can kick men's ass in movies. We have a constant barrage of other women telling women that men ain't shit. We have a society that has been raised primarily by women. If you think about it from this perspective, a child is born, and lo and behold, If that mother does not marry or stay with that father, that child just became grown and totally, I don't want to use the word manipulate, nurtured, cared, groomed by a female. If it's a man or a boy, I should say, it's the worst thing that could happen. If it's a female, if it's a girl, it's bad, but at least not as bad as it being a boy. So, he's nurtured by mommy. If she's single, that means that everything, all the things that she's doing, he's subjected to. Going to the hair salon, nail salon, her friends coming over, drinking wine, cackling. All of this is influencing the boy's mind. The boy then goes to daycare. Who do you think he's groomed with? Or who do you think his teachers are? Women. So, left mommy, women at daycare. Then he goes to high school or primary school. 80% of women in schools are women, or 80% of teachers in school are women. Same thing as he goes through middle school and senior. Then he gets into a college that is primarily ran for female heirs, female understanding, geared towards making women feel comfortable. And then the large majority of the lectures in the college is geared towards females because that's who they know is taking the majority of the degrees. More women are going to colleges than men. So everything is all about the female. Are you going with me here? Are you following the pattern? So boy is never really touched. Okay, that's not a good word. A boy is never really influenced by a lot of male or masculine attention. That's the problem that we're currently seeing. So of course a woman is going to feel like she's superior. And then on top of that, we have a full-blown media that tells women that they run the world. Female power, empowerment, female. Everything is about female. We can't touch women without consent. We can't even look at women in the gym anymore. Our eyes aren't our own. We have this society that has catered completely to women to the point that a woman now feels so inferior to the man. What do you think is going to happen? So, I prerequisite this because we have to understand why women will feel now that their value is so high. You understand me? Cayman Islands, Paul's family is listening. Oh, you guys are awesome. Love you all. Love each and every one of you guys are awesome. Oh, man. And these early mornings, my voice gotta, you gotta wake that up. You get that old man phlegm in the back. I gotta get rid of that, man. Drinking my coffee, man. Who wants to come in? Matt, I see you, brother. Let's do this. Hey, bro.
How's it going, Paul?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah. Everything you said so far, spot on, 100% correct.
The older man is just bringing it to you, man. These are the conversations that we need to have so that we can solve the problem. My sisters always think that I'm giving women a bad time, black women, they're not, they're not going to take any accountability at all.
Right.
Yes, you, Karen.
Well, yeah. And I just wanted to the things that you said earlier, they really hit home because unfortunately I fell into that statistic of not having a masculine role model to, you know, to really show me the way. But luckily, once I started getting into the workforce, most of my supervisors were male, so I learned kind of from them. So that helped me a little bit.
But how
But
old were you when that happened?
I would. How old was I? Oh, I was in like early 20s, like 2021, early 20s.
See,
I was.
in other words, your development was already done. The damage was already done there. That's the problem. You were already indoctrinated into thinking the value of a woman was exceptional.
Yeah, unfortunately, and you know, and yeah, man, the women I worked with when I started, oh my gosh, they were vicious, more vicious than the men. Let me tell you.
Yeah, yeah, that's the problem.
But I think I wanted to just kind of, you know, just give a little bit of 2 cents to your question. I think we need to start by understanding the fact that what I know this is not about men being high value, but I think you were kind of going in this direction. What makes a woman high value and what makes a man high value are not the same thing. So to kind of add on to what you were saying, yeah, women think because they're, you know, basically everything you were describing is gynocentrism.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think because, you know, they have degrees and they make a lot of money, that makes them high value. No, that's what makes men high value. You know, money, status.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on, cook.
Absolutely. I mean, and look, and again, you know, there's nothing wrong with the woman being educated and having a lot of money. You know, there's something that's not a bad thing. But just understand that's not typically what men look for in a woman. I mean, you know, because I know you've talked about this a lot before. We don't want to come home to basically a man in a woman's body after, you know, a 12, 16-hour day at work. No man wants to deal with that.
No one wants to deal with confrontation when he gets home. He just wants to chill, man.
Right.
Black Mamba, I see you. Hang in there. No, it's just someone. Go on, brother. Go on.
But yeah, as I said, I wanted to chime in because all those things you described, they hit home to me. They really hit home. And unfortunately, you know, in this community, boys especially are brought up in single parent households. So it is a really big problem.
It is a major problem. So if you were to give me, what is it in your eyes that makes a woman high value? Can you summarize it? What would you say?
All right. Well, this is the best I could think of. I know you've touched on this a little bit. You know, soft, feminine. She speaks softly. You know, she doesn't have that guard up. You know, she has a soft aura. I know you've mentioned that, you know, you teach your daughters to be, you know, polite and well. So, you know, a woman that's polite, a woman, you know, because usually people can read your energies, you know, when you're around people. You guys.
So you think women now are incredibly aggressive? This is what I've seen. I don't understand. Well, I do understand, but why they have to do it is totally unnecessary.
I agree.
To me, a woman's superpower is her femininity, is her softness, not her aggression. A woman tries to confront a man on trying to be like a man, not realizing that she cannot outman a man as a woman.
No.
And this is the big issue that a lot of women cannot understand. Her superpower is that softness to get the man to come back into her arena, not to try to get into his. It blows my mind that women don't get that. They're supposed to be smart, but they don't get that. They're always trying to outman a man. But
and
anyway,
that's another
brother,
thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just
final one.
Yeah, final one. And that's another thing too, because, you know, there's something, you know, one thing I've noticed when I started working is, you know, women are allowed to give you corrections, which is fine. But then you tell them something about themselves and say, hey, you know what? Here's a couple things you can fix. How dare you?
And this is the problem when we have a society that tells women that they can't fail, that they cannot do anything wrong. This is what we've created. So yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Okay, I'm gonna let somebody else come in, man. There's another brother holding on here. So thanks so much for coming on, Matt. I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, man. Take care.
All right.
Black Mamba.
What's going on, Brother Paul?
Good, brother. How are you? Where are you calling in from? Where you at?
How you doing, Brother Paul?
Good, man. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Give me a minute. I know I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. Just turn on the radio or
You can hear me now?
the radio. Yeah, I can. I just get
Yes,
the
sir.
feedback. So just turn it down a little bit.
Okay. Just turn on the radio You can hear me now? Yeah, I can.
Okay, we just
Yes,
get
sir.
that echo.
So just turn it on a little bit. Okay.
So tell me, what do you want to add today?
All right. So women, in my opinion, right? So I didn't use before now. I grew up around women, just like you, with sisters, friends, neighbors. Um, Women are very smart. Let's not take that away from them. They're super
course.
smart than women when it comes to intellectually, and they're more advanced. They're trained that way. That's the way they're made by
No.
God.
No,
But
let's not
during
go there.
the 70s and
listen.
the 80s in the West,
Can you
they
hear me?
turned to
I don't think you can hear me, man.
change the narrative.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
All right. I think you're listening to me through the radio, but you're not hearing me through whatever you're talking to me from. But this idea that women are smarter.
Is this turned down? Or did Paul turn it down? I can hardly hear
No,
myself.
I didn't touch anything. But you can't hear me, can you?
Oh, we good, brother.
You can't hear. You're not. Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Are you hearing me through headphones or something? Okay. All right, I'm not getting through to you, brother. All right, sorry, that was a bad connection. But this idea women are smarter and women, this is bullshit. This is the kind of crap that have been pumped into women's heads, and this is a brother that has absorbed it. Men created the world, men built the world, women were designed to nurture. We have turned that on its head, and that's where the major issue is right now. Men have designed primarily every facet of our existence. That's just how it's been. So for him to make a statement where women are the most smarter and more than men, that's bullshit. Women are much more conniving, manipulative, and it's part of her survival mechanism because she's not physically stronger than men. So she's able to use her charm to actually get men to do what she wants. However, as far as building, science, all of these things, men have run the world in that respect. I'm not saying women can't do it. It's just that he made it sound as if they are better than men at it, and that is not historically true. So we have to get back to the point where we need to determine one simple word: value. Value. What is the value of a woman? And what is a high value woman? There are two different things that we have to understand. Value set by the woman. No, sorry. So let me repeat that. Price set by the woman. Value determined by the man. Price set by the woman, value determined by the man. The market determines value, not the woman. So if a woman says, I'm a high value woman because I make my own money, I am highly educated, I have my degree and blah, 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 blah. That is her setting her own price. But did she ask the market, is this what you find valuable? She didn't ask that question. And this is what's making a lot of women single today. Because they never thought about asking men, what is it that you value in me? And am I offering that thing that you find valuable? Women think that they can set their own value. No. Let's listen to this woman here. This is woman pricing themselves, right? And they're saying what they are valuing themselves. Let me grab this
For
one.
the right ears, this one's going to sting, but a lot of you aren't becoming high value.
Not that one. This one, I think it is.
The way.
What is a high value woman? Here we go. A high value woman, first and foremost, really understands who she is. She knows herself. She has a clear set of values and principles that she tries to live her life operating from, and she's not easily swayed by external factors. A high value woman will also never say that she is a high value woman, because she's going to let her demeanor and the impression that she leaves with other people do the talking for her. A high value woman takes a lot of pride in the way that she carries herself, and she will never say that she doesn't care what people think about her, because she really wants to be a walking billboard for the values and the principles and the moral code that's important to her. High value women have a high level of self-respect. They know their worth, they know their value, so they are simply not going to let just anyone, especially men, get access to them. You'll also notice that high value women don't have superficial relationships and a lot of drama in their lives. They understand that their purpose on earth is just something so much bigger, so they don't have the energy or the desire to entertain superficial relationships. This is a large reason why high value women aren't really impressed or swayed by materialistic things, especially when it comes to men. You can't really buy a high value woman's time and attention, because she cares about something more than bags and trips. For her, the real value is not in materialistic or worldly possessions. Real value is in a man's respect of her, pursuit of her, commitment to her, and loyalty to her. High value women also have this innate ability to operate from a place of wisdom and discernment. She can command attention without even really having to try, and when she speaks, people will naturally sit up and listen. This is a large reason why you'll hear a lot of high value women getting the same kinds of compliments from people that they leave impressions with. Often people will say, I've never met someone like her. She's so sweet. She's so kind. I need more friends like her. High value women also don't waste their time playing the victim card or bashing men. They respect men, they understand from logic and reasoning that not all men are bad, and they also allow themselves the grace and the discernment to forgive themselves for the mistakes that they make. They don't have a problem taking accountability for the actions that they have made in their lives. Remember, people are works in progress, and even if you do identify and resonate with some of the things in this video, it's never too late to work on yourself and start the process of evolving and growing into a better person.
All right. So she said some really, really good things about herself and what she perceived as value to who? To who? Who did she describe this value that was, who's it for? Because a lot of women like to big up themselves to impress other women, right? And this is where the problem come in. I'm going to bring in Black Mamba again. Let's see if this is any better. But I want you guys to hold what she said as a high value woman in your heads, because we're going to come back to that. Yes, brother. Let's try this again.
Yeah. How you doing, Brother Paul?
Good, man. Good. So that's a lot better. Tell me.
Thank you. I apologize for the audio. Yeah. So this is what I meant by women are smart, not super smart, but they have. We all have our place in society. Let's make that clear. We all have our place in society. Women have their place, men have their place. Now,
okay, well, you're throwing out things, and I want to basically be I want more specific. Okay. What is a woman's place? What is a woman's place?
Let's go back to where it all begins. The woman's place is to be a helpmate and assistant to a man.
Right.
Regardless of whatever culture we're looking at it from. The Western culture, the African culture, whatever culture you look at it from. The man's place is to be a provider, a protector, and the king of his home and society.
Okay. Those days are coming to a very, well, they have come to an end.
It is. You're 100% right.
So now,
100%.
So let's talk about modern society, because we've made the world very secure for women. So protection for women these days is a police department. She's one phone call away. We have cameras in every friggin' corner of the world right now that it's hard to actually commit a crime without being, caught, right? So
True.
what else is it that a man should bring to a woman? Because protection and provision is she has her job now, so he don't even have to provide for her anymore. Okay,
True.
so we have made like the brother said, we've made the world extremely comfortable for women. Of course, this isn't all over the world. I'm just talking about the Western society.
Mhm.
Okay, tell me what else.
So I'm a trained psychologist, right?
You're a
A trained,
psychologist,
yeah, I
trained
not a,
psychologist. Okay,
yes,
cool.
I'm not
Okay,
licensed. That's what I went to
trained.
college for. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if we look at everything that the women have achieved now, modern society, be it money, career, whatever, we see women in high positions, politics, education system. Most of the principals are all women. You go to
Right.
college, your president, they are women.
Right.
But let's look at the fundamentals of outside of that. How many of these women can we really say their life mirrors the accomplishment? Majority of them still find one thing that they're looking for. They want a home, they want a child, they want companionship, which money can buy that, no matter how rich you are. That's why
Right.
you have 60 plus years old Madonna still showing her butt, even though she has
Plus,
grown
you gave me a
kids.
bad image there, man.
I'm sorry, but
I think Madonna's almost 70 now and still trying to swear that she's hot. But anyway, go ahead.
exactly. And that's not
Yeah.
even the only example. We have so many of them. We have
Yeah.
just recently here in the States, a woman that was on the police department had to go uh, accomplish her son in a mother. I think it was in New York. This just happened a couple of days ago. This is a
Yeah.
very successful woman, but no common sense. The son committed a crime. She was waiting in the car. She drove the son off, and guess what now? Both the woman, the son, and the so-be dad, they're about to go to jail. They will go to
Okay.
jail because.
All
So
right, but let's try
what
get to
would
the
a
point
man?
though. Let's
But
go.
what would?
Let's go to
Yeah,
a
but the
point.
point is this. The point
Yeah.
is this. What does a man bring into a woman's life in this modern society? A man will always bring comfort. A man will always bring peace. A man will always bring direction. You know, direction is very important in life. If you don't
Okay.
have direction and focus,
All right.
which
And what does she bring? And what is it that's required from her?
if you marry the right woman will always give you peace. You know that from experience.
Okay. So peace is
Very important in a man's life. And as you
I
grow older, you will really understand. You know better than I do.
I
Every
get it,
brother.
but now we're at this point in our society where a woman is much more aggressive. She's much more combative. So she brings most modern women do not bring that one fundamental thing that men want into their life. That's the biggest problem that we're seeing now. So
Obviously.
what else do we value in a woman? Because in essence, we want to stay with what is valuable to a man, because value is literally what we're talking about.
Yep. Well, for me, and I would assume, I'm not speaking for everybody. I would assume that if you don't have a peaceful home, you have a peaceful friendship, peaceful partner, even if you're not married, your life's gonna be chaotic.
Okay. So
Your life's gonna be really chaotic.
all you want is peace. That's it.
Peace, peace.
All right.
Because we men can make money if we want to make money. We men can get whatever we want out of life if we want it.
Okay. All right, brother. Anything else you want to add quickly?
No, that'll be all.
That's it?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for
Okay.
giving
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Thanks for calling in. Cheers. All right. Peace. So, Mr. D. Wright Palmer, I can't get you up on the board, man, but he asks, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Modern women confuse price with value. That's why their standards keep climbing and they're giving themselves a price tag. That's right. You're right, brother. And this is what I'm saying. Women set their price, men determine the value. That's why we see so many so-called highly educated, very accomplished women who are alone, pretending like their life is going great, but always going home, pouring that glass of wine, stroking that cat next to them, 3, 4 of them sometimes, watching that TV, Netflixing, and falling asleep sad. Waking up the next day, hitting the office, getting into our job, distracting ourselves, and then rinse and repeat. On the weekends, she get out with a brunch with a couple of her single friends who are in the same boat, talking about, oh, you know, men ain't shit, men ain't shit, men ain't shit. She condemns the only thing that she wants. She's in a constant cycle of putting down and condemning the one thing that she wants, and then wondering why she's still alone. Guys, get the likes up, my friends. Get the likes up. Apparently, right now I'm looking at 120 of you in the room, and I don't know how many likes I got, but I know it's not 120. Okay, so I want you guys to listen to and understand why a lot of women get confused with making money and thinking that they're high value, being educated and thinking that they're high value. Because men know, without a doubt, that women do not want to share their resources with them. So her making money means nothing to the man. And there was this exchange with Myron from Fresh and Fit that stood out to me. Let me see if I can find
the last thing they want to do when women make their own money, the last thing they want to do is support a man. The last thing they want to do is support a man.
Believe it or not, no. When women make good money, they don't. When women make money, they don't need a man because they make enough money. They have support.
Okay, repeat that sentence again.
When women make enough money, they don't really need a man.
Okay,
because
say
they
that
can
one more
take
time
care.
again.
When
women make what? What did you say? When women
they
make money?
enough money, they really don't need a man.
You do understand your sentence just defeated your entire argument, right?
No, it didn't. It didn't. But that's what I'm saying. You said women cannot be able to fight off or fend for the household if they couldn't pay rent.
Poor Myron, man. And this is what men have to deal with, especially when I'm talking to women. They cannot see the irony in what they're saying. We know that when a woman makes enough money, her whole attitude towards a man changes. Everything about them change. And it's mind-blowing that so many women don't understand that this trajectory that they're on of being better than men is only making them lonely, alone. And if they become comfortable with that, that's their life. That's it. That's the extent of their life. What we have done is that we have promoted women to a point where she has literally pushed herself, qualified herself outside the realm of being a good catch for a man. And she swears that this acceleration that she has done to herself has made her the prize. She's no longer the prize in a man's eyes because let me put it this way. I think this is the best analogy. It just popped into my head. This is when the caffeine starts to kick in, right? If I had a car and woman is a car, right? And it's an okay car. It's an average looking car, but you painted it a bright gold with gold flakes, real gold flakes. And you have put this is a Toyota Camry, right? And you've literally made this thing beautiful for you. But every man walks across it and he go, oh, wow, that's a nice car, but I wouldn't drive a gold car with flakes like that. I'm not interested in that. The kind of maintenance I got to do on that, nah. That maintenance on that car, I'm not interested in that. No, not buying it. No, I'd buy it for Pookie, Ray Ray, the guy with 3 baby mamas, etc., he'll walk across it and go, you know, I can pick up some other chicks with that car. You know, I can do something with that car. He will invest in that car, but he's not going to take care of that car. But he's paying a lot less. So you're getting a lesser man to buy your expensive car that you created. That's with your education. That's with your attitude. That's with the everything that men don't like. Mr. Kevin Samuels had a formula that I thought was it. He was very good at just bringing a conversation together so that we could clearly understand it. And he said the 5F. A woman had to be fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable, and child-free, childless, in order for her to attract a high-value man. Now, we can clearly define what a high-value man is to a woman, but trying to get women to understand that her value is only determined by the man that she can attract. Oh, I know that stung a lot of women, but I'll repeat it again. A woman's value is determined by the type of man she can attract. That means if she's only attracting Pookie and Ray Ray with 3 baby mamas, the dreads and working the warehouse job, or, becoming one of those, or he's one of those, what do you call it, street chemists, drug dealers, then that is your value. If that's who you're attracting, that is your value. That is the man that you're going to get. If you're a fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable, childless woman, you're going to get a high-value man. Paul, he also used the dudes, delusional, ungrateful, denial, entitled, selfish. Yeah, I remember that, man. So we have to understand that the value of a woman is strictly determined by the type of man that she's going to attract. So I can listen to you all day, ladies. Tell me what you define as a high-value woman. But if it doesn't fall into those categories I just mentioned, that value means shit all to a man. It means nothing to a man. Because men know inherently that when a woman makes money, when a woman, my sister's going, what? When a woman makes her money, it means nothing to the man because she will not be spending it on a man. So why is it important to a man? I have never seen a woman who says, oh my gosh, I've made enough money now so that I can get a family and a good husband. Which woman you know is working towards that, where they're going to make money so that they can now have a family and a husband? Let me know in the chat. Have you ever heard a woman say that? Let me know. Yes or no. I have now made enough money that I can now have a family and a husband. A child and a husband that I can take care of. Anyone? 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 Never. Never. Yep. And this is the thing. None. Women prefer to keep their own money. Exactly. They're selfish. That is a fact. A woman is selfish. And we have to understand the word selfish. Selfish. It isn't necessarily a bad thing for a woman because, in essence, it's all about survival for a woman. A woman knows that she's the weaker of the two sexes. Surviving in today or any other time of life for her has always been stressful. A woman out on the street isn't the same thing as a man out on the street. A woman living in her car isn't the same thing as a man living in his car. So selfish is part of her nature, self-preservation. That is exactly what she has to do in order to make sure that she survived this world. A man can go and live in the freaking woods. A woman, that would be a lot harder. Now, today, with today's technology, gun and, buzzsaw, cutting saws, and all of these other technologies that she can put in there, that's fine. But it's much easier for a man to go in the woods and build a hut, create shit. In Canada, women have to think like that. All over the world, my dear, women have to think like that. All over the world. You cannot survive on your own as a woman without having a selfish streak. But there's a caveat to that. When a woman makes money, she don't see how to invest money. And of course, I'm talking in general terms. Most women are not net investors. They don't see the future like men do. And it's part of our innate growth, or I should say our evolutionary growth. We evolved as men to understand that we can only hunt during the good times, and then we have to keep the meat, preserve the meat, so that when the winter comes, when we can't hunt in these areas, that we have saved enough meat to survive the winter. Right? That's how we grew. We understood that eventually I'm not going to be able to chase down animals because my body is going to be weaker. I can't hunt like I'm hunting when I'm in my 20s. So that means I have to have enough kids. I have to have a little bit of, feel that I can start to grow my own vegetables and, put my things together so that when I'm older, I have enough investments to survive. Women today, they make enough money, they need to prove to the sisterhood that they're successful. They have to feel good. So a lot of that money goes into hair, nails, brunches, traveling. I need to go traveling. I need to go and do all of these other nice things to make me feel good. So a lot of her disposable or discretionary income is spent on her feelings. So a lot of women don't invest in the future. And she's hoping that future, a man will come along to make sure that she's comfortable. But the problem arises when she don't invest enough of her money. I remember I said enough because I know some women think that, I got a little savings account. I got a little fixed deposit. And God forbid, most of them buy a house or apartment. As a real estate agent, one of the worst investments. That's a whole other long story. But the point is that we have come to this point in our society where women have not been able to invest enough in order for her to be comfortable in the future. But she's looking for a man to come along now to take care of that. Now, let me just make this very clear for a lot of people. Human beings are social creatures. Just as blatant and as basic as that statement is, a lot of people still freaking ignore this, especially women. Human beings are social creatures. That means that we want to naturally be with other people, be with a partner. Loneliness is one of the greatest things that have shortened our lifespan, made us more depressed, made life less palatable. Is that a word? Palatable or palatable? I don't know. Anyway, less enjoyable, right? So if we're looking at it from that perspective, we want to have somebody there with us to go through life with. A man or partner isn't there to make us happy. That isn't, I keep hearing these excuses about, oh, I need a man to make me happy. A man isn't there to be your freaking dancing monkey. No. A man is there to go through life with. A woman is there to partner with life. And both of you should be contributing towards each other's safety. Each other's, what's the word I'm looking for? Just being wholesome enough to be able to go through life together. One of my sisters, she had to remind me, they've been married 28 years. Shout out to Karen Floyd. Beautiful. 28 years. I know they went through some hard times, ups and downs, but 28 years, they're still together. Beautiful. Building together. Beautiful kids. Beautiful kids. Everything is beautiful. But I know what life throws at you through these times. I'm going on to my 21st year in the next, yeah, it's coming up soon, I think, right? But I know you guys think, older man, you don't even know when your anniversary is. So what? So, just kidding. Point is that is what life is. We're enduring life, man. Of course, life is marriage is a business. Marriage is a business contract with future agreements. Yes, thank you. That is part of it. There are different aspects to a marriage. But part of it is a silent contract. And this is the part that's going to tie this all together. Part of this agreement, this marriage, is a contract between the two sexes. And this is where the big divide comes in. A lot of people don't understand the till death do us part through sickness and health. This is just an old, very archaic way of making sure that people made a bond that they understood had to go through the test of time, right? We've broken that contract. And when I say we, women have. Women have broken the social contract between males and females. The large majority of women, whether you are a traditionalist, conservative, or you're a progressive woman, every single one of you have one common denominator that you don't want to change. That the man still has to protect and provide. Every single one of you. I don't care if you're a feminist or whether you're a conservative. You all expect the man to uphold that one simple part of the bargain. Regardless, you can change yours, but the man has to sustain and maintain that part of his, protect and provide, right? So that basically means that females have broken their part of the contract. They want the man to maintain his, but they want to do whatever they want to do. Under the guise that they weren't treated fairly in the past. Now, I don't want to get into all of the whole feminist rhetoric, but this all ties back to value. Because if a woman's way of looking at life, right, is I can do whatever I want and I have the opportunity to do whatever I want. Yes, really, sir, really. But the man is supposed to uphold his end of the bargain, right? What value is the woman contributing to the man? What is it that makes her valuable? If she's not fit, the large percentage of the Western society is morbidly obese or obese. No, okay, I don't. Let me rephrase that. They're not morbidly obese. Obese. Most women in the West these days are obese, right? Large percentage of women are incredibly aggressive. If you see the amount of fights that occur, especially in the black community, it's sickening. The aggression levels are at an all-time high. So a man don't get a peaceful woman anymore. It's just constant confrontation. Fit, friendly. Most women are no longer friendly. You can't even talk to a woman on the street anymore. Obesity? Don't say that, Paul. You're body shaming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to do it. We have to call these things out, man. Fit, friendly, feminine. What is femininity these days? Most women are sexy, but they're not feminine. This is the problem. I think I got a video here with this woman explaining this. And I think she just laid it out perfectly. Let me find this video.
The way.
For the right ears, this one's gonna sting, but a lot of you aren't becoming high value women. It's just soft porn, entitlement, and expensive insecurity with lip gloss. And yes, I said it. Because if your entire identity is built on being desired, being expensive, being hard to access, chased, chosen, admired, blah, 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 that's not power. That's a product launch. And I'm honestly exhausted by this TikTok obsession with teaching women how to become a fantasy instead of a good human being. Every day it's the same recycled script. Stay mysterious, make him chase, make him prove his worth, make him panic, blah, 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 only date providers. At this point, are we even dating? Or are we listing ourselves on the luxury market? Because some of you are not learning self-worth. You're learning how to monetize desirability, and then you wonder, why do men treat women like collectibles? Why wouldn't they? You told them the goal was the hottest woman, the most polished woman, the most exclusive woman, blah, blah, blah. You built a marketplace and now you're angry that men are shopping. That's the part I find insane. A lot of this high value woman advice is not empowerment. It's branding. Because life is not a TikTok montage. A real man isn't always going to arrive with a penthouse, a Rolex, 6 streams of income, and emotional intelligence by 28. Some good men are still building. Some good men are still figuring it out, and some good men are still becoming. But social media has us convinced some women that if a man is not already fully formed, fully funded, and fully polished, then he's beneath him. Because what happened to femininity being about grace, discernment, self-respect, character? It turned into boobs out, standards up, bills paid, personality optional. And before anybody starts hyperventilating, no, I'm not saying women should accept disrespect. I am not saying women should struggle. And I am not saying women should mother a grown man. I'm saying some of you are confused. You're not being taught self-worth. You're being taught how to market yourself as an experience. Because real feminine power was never about being expensive. It's about being anchored. A powerful woman has standards, yes, but she also has depth, discernment, self-respect, emotional maturity, character. She doesn't perform worth. She embodies it. She has emotional maturity to know the difference between a red flag and the man who is simply becoming. She doesn't need to parade herself like luxury goods and then call it empowerment. So yes, I am so tired of everyone who keeps dating like they are auditioning, because if your worth needs a price tag, it was never self-worth. It's marketing.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better myself. Today's modern women have put a price tag on themselves that the market is no longer accepting. This is the reason why dating, I even hate that bloody word, the relationship market is dead. Birth rates are down. People are more depressed. People are not finding a mate that is really for them, because women have monetized themselves. This is the problem that we have when we tell women that their value is determined by how much money she makes and how many degrees she has. There's one thing I understood very clearly as I'm doing more and more of these shows, right? And I've been in this space now for 4 years. Feminism can only strive when the economy is doing well. The minute shit hits the fan, economic-wise, women will get back and fall back into their natural place, which is, let me find a man I can partner with so I can work with him so we can do life together. When economies are doing well and women make their own money, whoa, it's a destructive force for society. And I keep harping on this one simple point. When we build women above men, women suffer. Let me repeat that again, because I know my sisters don't understand this. Barbara, Karen, Sarah, when we build women above men, and that's what we have been doing for the last 4 or 5 decades, there is something that the government did not anticipate, companies did not anticipate, and that is female hypergamy. Female hypergamy. They did not anticipate that when a woman is up here, she wants a man who is up there. Can you see that on the screen? She wants a man who's better than her. This is what we do not understand. Governments never anticipated, okay, if we don't build the men and we build the women are going to want a better man. But guess what? We didn't build the men. There's no government scholarships and corporate scholarships for men anymore. All of that shit is gone. All of the resources have been piled into the woman. What they call it, DEI. All of these programs have been done so to elevate women to a point. In America, all you hear is about women running male-centered departments. Fire department. Oh, you got a female fire chief. How the hell does that make sense? Female fire chief. 90%, 95% of the freaking fire department is men, and they got a woman in charge. How the hell does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. Let me put a woman in charge of running men and think that that's going to work out okay. What was Trump almost, Trump almost got shot at that event, when he got a piece of his ears taken out. It was a woman running his security force. I watched their female, so-called female Secret Service try to cover him up. Trump is a big-ass man she's barely big enough to cover him. Fumbling with the gun, can't find the freaking gun. It's a freaking embarrassment. Who's running his Secret Service department? A woman. Females running police departments. Please tell me, how the hell does that make any sense? Women do not understand the male experience. They cannot understand the male experience. So all I'm saying is, we have taken women from their natural positions and socially engineered them to think that they can be better than men and they can do whatever men can do, right? And have now made it literally worse for women because women cannot find men who are better than her. That is the problem. Hypergamy was never, ever considered into the equation. And that's where we went wrong with women. Okay. So my understanding of this whole process is that if women want a man that's better than her in today's modern society, she will continue to be alone. Please understand that. Because there's not enough men that are better than her. And it's not as if women want men on the same level, you know. They want a man who's 27 to 30%. 27 to 33%, I think the studies were showing, better than her in income and education. That is the statistics. I'm not just shooting words out of my ass. I'm telling you that this is what females are requiring in general. So if a woman wants a man who's better than her, but the society have built so many women who are better than men, guess what's going to happen? Those women are going to be alone. I see this all the time. Let me know if you've seen a lot of women who are successful. They're highly educated. A lot of them are obese. Just had to throw that in. But they're alone. And they honestly think that the men should be falling over themselves to get to her because of those two things, her money and her education. Let me know in the chat if you see these women, because I see them here all the time. They're all over Dubai. A lot of them have left America. A lot of them have left different countries thinking that they can come here to change their luck. It's not working. Just saying. Just saying. Let me see. Somebody said here, if she feels safe and secure, then let her live in the fantasy she is allowed to create for herself. Yeah, absolutely. But this is the problem. We are looking for men with ambition and will be able to grow with any partner. That is supposed to be the way to look at it. But unfortunately, the large majority of women don't look at it like that. They don't. You can talk about yourselves. You can talk about individualistically finding your partner. But in general, because when I'm talking, I'm not just talking from my life experience. Because a large percentage of the partners that are around me operate in a different space. I'm talking in general, looking at the world in general. Because in general, we have a very low marriage rate. We have a very high divorce rate. We have a very low childbirth rate. And we have very, very low sex between men and women today. Well, from the men's side, it's extremely low. For the women, high. And the reason for that is the top men are sleeping with the large majority of the women. The average and below men, they're not getting any sex. And sex in a society, healthy sex in a society, is good for the society. Not only for mental health, but also for birth rates. And that's not happening. So high value men get the large majority of women. And the thing is, this is how it's been throughout society anyway. Women do not want to get married. Why not? What make you think? The only time a woman don't want to get married is when she don't need a man. The second reason a woman don't want to get married is if she can have a child out of wedlock and daddy government steps in and pay her child support. So she just makes money off the government. It's the same thing of kicking the man out of the house. But you're wrong. The large majority of women would like to get married, but men don't see the benefit of marriage. Men realize that there is no benefit to marriage because he's getting the same thing out of a woman if he's married to her or not. But the disadvantage of being married to a modern woman today is that she could come in and take the large majority of his assets and walk away without working for it. So there's no benefit to a man getting married today that he wouldn't get from a woman he's not married to. Just so I'm going to break it down for you so you guys can understand. We have now come to a point in society where you meet a woman, you have sex first, and then you determine whether you're going to have a relationship. That's where we are. Okay? That's where we are. So if a man is getting sex and he got a woman that's there all the time, why would he get married? What is the expression? Why buy the cow when the milk is free? Because a lot of women tend to misunderstand why men want a woman in the first place. Most of the time, it's just sexual access. Back in the day, the woman would hold the sex, hold that sex. The man commits to her financially, marries her, and then she takes the sex away. That's cold. But my point is that the woman withheld it so that before the man commits. And once the man commits, he's supposed to get access to his wife. You notice how I said supposed to, right? So this is the problem that we have in today's environment. Feminism and sexual liberation has entered the room, and the advent of the pill, sex happens before a relationship even occur. It blows my mind today that a woman will give her body to a man, open her legs to a man, right? But lo and behold, if she was asked to cook for that man, that's a major problem. A woman will give her body to a man rather than cook him a meal. Because apparently cooking a meal for that man is much more intimate than giving her body to that man. That blows my mind today. Like, it drives me insane that's where we are as a society. Hit that like button, guys. Come on. Hit that like button. This ain't the Notebook Times anymore. Exactly. Women want above average men, so let women chase those men. There's no issue with that. Men are allowed to go after who he likes as well. And this is the long part. This is the general consensus that women don't understand. Women think that they're the ones that's supposed to get from the relationship, not give. You have to understand that we have reached this point where women have become parasites in relationships rather than symbiotic in the relationship. Symbiotic meaning she gives and she takes to the relationship. There's harmony in it. Okay, there's harmony. A bee and a flower is a symbiotic relationship. The bee takes the pollen, takes the nectar from the flower. In the meantime, his feet collects all the pollen from the flower, and he goes to another flower and he pollinates the other flower. Thereby, all of the that species of bush or plant grows. Symbiotic. They're working together. The bee gets the pollen, goes to his the bee gets the nectar, goes to his and creates honey from that. And so they're working together. This is how males and females should operate. They come together. They create a family together. The input from the male and the female is inserted into the child, meaning the child gets to see the characteristics of a father and a mother combined. When that is absorbed by the child and recognized as that is the way we exist as a unit, then they go off and create their own family, knowing that they saw exactly how mommy and daddy got along. Yeah, mommy and daddy fought, but they made up, they kissed, they hugged, they showed love. Daddy is strict, daddy's very, this has a lot of discipline. Mommy is very soft and nurturing. Those two things are inserted into the child. So now what do we get? We get a holistic child that then goes out and create another holistic family. But what's happening today? We get a system, a woman who says, I don't need a man anymore because daddy government is there to protect me. Oh, I don't need a man anymore because I have a good job and I got my child and I'm not putting up with no man and his bullshit. You're not going to tell me what to do. I can do better. Hypergamy kicks in. She sees her divorced friends online actually doing better, so-called taking that divorce money and going and doing her trips and doing all that shit. And she thinks, okay, I can divorce my husband and do the same. I don't need a man, blah, blah, blah. Freaking garbage. So she ends up with the child alone. The poor man gets to see the child every other weekend, but her whole influence is on that child. So the feminization of the child is all the child got to experience. They never saw healthy interactions between a male and a female. It's always about what mommy said, what mommy wanted to do. So the child gets a one-sided view of relationship. And a lot of time it's bitter. Because mommy was always arguing with daddy on some issue. You're not paying me enough child support. You're not taking enough time. It's always a hostile environment. There was no makeup and breakups that the child experienced, no intimacy that the child experienced. Most of the time, that child will only see temporary men coming in and out of the house. Mommy disappearing for weekends to go and get her itch scratch. Is that a term? Or scratch, itch, scratch, you know what I mean. To go get some D. She needs to get her take thing taken care of, you know? So this, and then of course, like I said earlier, this experience with the mom and then going into other areas of her life with school, which is a woman, and right through life with women, she has a one-sided view of the world. Most women today, I honestly feel that the reason why most women are so hostile to men is because the large majority of them were born out of wedlock, grown by bitter mothers who did not talk kindly about a father that they never saw or rarely saw. So this projection that you've seen of this generation of women or young girls is detrimental for good relationships. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I am wrong, or did I not just show you what has happened? Ink Intelligence, Intelligent Caveman says, women have everything available to them and women are living well. Don't be fooled by women. Women just talk old game because she knows old society kept her safe in wanting marriage and family. We have built a society as men that favors the comfort of a woman. This is the problem. We have built a society that comforts women, safe for women, and rightly so. We've been doing this since the beginning of time. A man wanted to protect his family. He built walls. When he came out of the cave, he built walls. Man has always protected his family. So all you're seeing now is a protection on a much larger scale. We've built armies, we've built police departments, we've built social systems, all in protection of family. It blows my mind that women will criticize the so-called patriarchy, not realizing that all of this growth and all of this harmony that they're now experiencing is because men allowed them to do it. If there was a dangerous, horrible patriarchy, they would not have any of this. None. And the reason I know this is because I can easily look at societies that don't have these things. You want a good example of it? Afghanistan. Look at Afghanistan right now. If men required and demanded that you stay your ass in your house and cover your face and don't ever show your face in the on the street as a woman, it could easily happen. Afghanistan did it. So if the patriarchy was so horrible in the West, why is it that women live in this ultimate comfort, but they still complain about it? So they blame this so-called horrible patriarchy that gives them a world where they can say there's a horrible patriarchy. Make that shit make sense. Make that shit make sense. Women have always complained. It's true. They don't care what you give women, they will always complain. Man, I've been to Afghanistan. OEF 11 to 12. Okay. That place sucks. Of course it would suck. I lived a year in Saudi Arabia, right? And I can tell you, one of the most horrible feelings is not being able to see another woman's face. Or even their hair, their body. Drove me insane. All I could handle was a year, man. Got the hell out of there. You know, it's something disturbing when you're not able to interact with women as a man. I don't think it's healthy for our society to not have this interaction. So I can tell you, we have to come back into a harmonious relationship with each other. because it's destroying us. Women always want more, never satisfied with the blessing they've been given. Thank you. Thank you, Chuck. I want to play one more video here. Let me see. Is this the one?
To me, a high-value woman is a woman who got her shit together, who know what she want to do out of life, who know her place with a man, no matter what success she got, and she's very particular on who she chooses to talk to. She chooses who she talk to wisely.
If she got 5 of them things, man, it don't matter. It don't matter about all that.
High value.
Don't let her have 5 on and 3 baby daddies.
wait.
A nigga has to understand what he's signing up for when you dealing with a woman with you. You got to know, because you're stepping up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That shit's not easy for everybody now. Everybody's not willing to do that. It's women right now won't date a man with kids.
As ladies, this is a man's opinion. We know that our opinion do not matter to y'all when it comes to value and what y'all hope. We're not saying your life is over. We're not saying that you can't have a high value life at all. We're not saying none of that. You go out here and live your best life. I don't see most of y'all on Caribbean trips and all type of shit. But we talking about value when it comes to the sexual marketplace. But most men is going to want a woman whose womb is not used.
Right?
They just straight up.
They're just being straight up. That's number one. Nobody in here is going to prefer a woman with kids if they could have one without kids.
Facts. That's true. I ain't gonna go.
A man is going to prefer a woman who ain't being used up. We could say that the body count don't matter. Bullshit. I'm gonna tell you something. Don't no man want a woman that he feel like every man can have. Most likely have traditional values. And we ain't saying nothing wrong, because if you ask any woman out here, she prefer a man with no kids too.
Laying it out thick. And I'm telling you, this is not just my opinion. This is men universally. Men don't want a woman with another man's child. No man wants to take care of another man's child if he has a choice. Listen to that again. If he has a choice. A man's value to a woman is determined by what is it that who I am and what I present to the world can get. And if a woman has a child, more than likely, the man that's going to be attracted to her is a lower valued man. And the problem with women, because of hypergamy, she still wants a man who's better than her. I have listened to women who flatly, and I'm talking about women with 2-3 kids by 2-3 different men, right? Say that she don't want a man with kids. I've heard that. Yeah, how many of you have heard that? She don't want a man with kids. If the audacity of that is just mind blowing. But I can get what she's trying to do. She wants a new man to provide for her kids. Because the choices, the 2 or 3 choices that she's made in the past, they were not the right choices for a provider male. So her value was not as high as she thought it would be to actually attract a man that would stick around with her. So she was not either fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable. So she did not fall into one of those 4 or none of those 4 categories where a man said, I want to stick around to make sure that I take care of my kids with this woman. Or this woman thought that she could do better after she messed up. Yeah, definitely the provider era is over. There is not a lot of men who are now saying, I'm providing for a woman 100%. Because number one, the economy is too expensive. And men realize that if I got to constantly provide for a woman, it's going to inhibit my future, not only for my own kids, but for me surviving to the end of life. We are now in crazy, crazy serious times when it comes to resources. a large majority of resources have been allocated to the extreme rich. There's only a limited amount, man. And because women and men have now entered the workplace, there is a sharing of the assets, but the cost of living keeps escalating. So now it's more expensive to exist. I had my 19 and 17-year-old daughter did an exercise 2 days ago. I said, I want you to, because they're living with me. They're enjoying a pretty good life, right? But they're getting to that point where they got to get real about life. I said, I want you to just sit down and write down what you think it's going to cost you to exist as a woman. Let's just say if you were out on your own, how much would it cost you to exist if you wanted to just go out on your own here in Dubai? And and of course they had a hard time. I said, I don't care how you figure it out. Ask ChatGPT, do something, figure it out. So they came back to me with a figure. And I said, you see that figure? Double it. Like, no. I said, double it. I said, that's the reality of the world that we live in. Because what you didn't put there in that was how much money you need to put away so that you can actually invest it in order for you to survive for the future when you cannot ensure that your life is going to be any better. You have to have some sort of insurance policy. So you have to invest money for the future. So when a man invests into a woman and her child, right? He's not just investing. Well, he's not investing. That's an expense. That's money thrown into the ether. You know, it's wasted money. It is not being put away for him to invest into his survival for the future. So many men complain to me constantly, every day. I can see them in the comments. Oh, I wasted so much money on her kids. I wasted so much money on another man's child. Now I'm 60. I didn't put any money away. All of that money went into the kids. And then she left me. Sucker. Yeah. So there lies the biggest problem. The value of a woman, fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable, childless. But another thing that has to be vital to a woman and her value, and this one can only be determined over time. She has to be loyal for the long term. She wants to work with you right to the end of time. And it's very difficult to determine that. Very difficult, because a lot of women will quit in the middle of a relationship, not because the man did anything to her, but because she honestly feels that there is something better out there. This is where the hypergamy is always working constantly, gentlemen. To be honest, man, I think the biggest flaw to a female's makeup is hypergamy. If you guys don't understand what hypergamy means, it means that she wants to do better. In essence, that's not the real term, but that's just the way I'm giving it to you hard. In its rawest form, hypergamy means that a woman will always marry above her level. She will always seek a partner above her. And it's part of her evolutionary survival mechanism, because she knows that if she has to find a mate, the mate don't only have to be able to provide for himself and for her, but for the offspring as well. So if the man is making equal to her, that means that he's providing for himself and she's providing for herself. What about the child? So that means it's important for her to get a man to basically bridge that gap. So it is part of her survival mechanism. It's built into her, every single woman. She is the weaker of the two sexes. So you can't blame her for her hypergamy. That's like telling a man, you know, all right, I was going to get a little bit graphic, but to control your sex, control your urge to have multiple women. A man produces millions of sperm per day. He can't control it. It's part of who he is as a man. Women don't understand that. Women can never understand the urge of a man to bust a nut, for lack of a better term, to get off, because let me put it to you like this, ladies. You produce 1 egg a month. One freaking solitary egg. Uno per month. A man produced the equivalent of, I think, I remember, 750 million sperms per day. You, 1 egg per month. Quarter of a billion sperm per month. Okay? Sorry, per day. You one egg per month. You can never understand the urge of a man to put those sperm cells somewhere. But we have to understand you when you get all bent out of shape because you drop 1 egg per month. But trying to understand a man who produced that much bloody sperms per day, oh no, you got to control yourself. You know, you guys have no control. Yeah, you try telling that to a woman when she has that period, that once a month period. Okay, so back to the one point, hypergamy. So that hypergamy now has been put on steroids because of social media. Let me refresh it so you guys can understand how this works. Back in the day, hypergamy was well under control because a woman never had access to men outside her village, right? So she knew that the selection of men in her village was a very, very few men. Maybe she had a choice between 2 to 3 men that were eligible for her. And she had to make sure that she presented herself well, she kept herself well, and hopefully one of those men would be attracted to her because those were the eligible ones. And usually the elders would get together and try to put them together. And that was the man she picked, and that was the man she had for life, and that's who she built the world with, right? They had kids together. Fast forward, we got out of the village into bigger cities, right, or communities. And within that community, small town, you know, her choices expanded. Things got a little bit better. But at least it was still manageable. Then we got into cities. She had multiple choices. She started spreading herself around to multiple men, and, you know, she could pretend to be nice to certain guys, et cetera, and, you know, enjoy herself. And of course, along came the pill to make things even worse. Give her more freedom, because now she don't have to worry about getting pregnant, right? Then the internet came, and holy shit. That is when hypergamy went mind-blowingly worldwide. A woman can freaking put a sexy ass outfit on and put it on Instagram. And men around the world, from Dubai to freaking Alaska, anywhere around the world, a man can go, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so amazing. This blew her freaking mind. This is what you call hypergamy on steroids. Not even on steroids, but bigger than steroids. So now she feels that she has multiple choices. We went from a village to a town to a city, now worldwide. Worldwide. So every single photo that she posts is getting massive amount of attention. Imagine every day, gentlemen, because men, you can't freaking comprehend this. Imagine every day you woke up and you put a shot of your face and you doing something cool, and you get 3,000 women saying, "Oh my God, you're so hot, brother. Oh my God, you're amazing." Imagine if that happened to you, gentlemen. Just think about that. Because men, you have to understand what women are going through. Imagine getting 1,000 likes and comments on a photo that you put holding a fish or, just standing there with your pot belly hanging out, right? Just think about it. Just think about it. Because you don't have to look good as a woman. You just have to show some cleavage, some titties, some butt cheeks. You could be freaking average as shit. Average. And you will get thousands of views. Just imagine that happening to you, gentlemen. Just let it sink in. I want you to put yourself in that position. What will that do to your psyche as a man? Because I'm trying to get you to understand what women have to go through. Just think about it. Thousands. Now, let's go back to the woman. What he said? Dwayne said my brain box would blow. Exactly. It would blow your freaking mind. Now imagine being committed in a relationship and one day you going through an argument with your woman. I'm thinking about you as a man now, right? And she's not behaving herself. She's not giving you what you want. She's holding out the sex. But you got 5,000 views on girls from all over the world. What do you think going to happen to your head? I can do better. I can do better than this, man. She's just being a bitch. I'm going to go find a good woman. I can do better. Look at all of these women who are telling me how hot I am. I know I can do better. I'm going to leave her. I'm going to divorce her. That's what women are doing in today's environment because hypergamy and the sexual the social media has made her accessible to so many different men. It's not real, but in her head, it doesn't matter. In her head, her value is determined by how many likes, how many views she's getting, and how many men are telling her how freaking hot she is. So she will break up her marriage because she's no longer happy. She will leave that man that been telling her to get her shit together because none of those guys online have told me that I need to get myself in shape. My man is always complaining that I'm too fat. But I have 5,000 men who are telling me how hot I am. So that's what men have to fight against. And she's strongly convinced that those views and those likes, etc., is the benchmark of her value. That is it. So now she will break all of that shit up. She's chasing this illusion online. She will travel to other cities, travel to other towns, etc., to meet these so-called guys that have been telling her how amazing she is because she starts conversation with these guys. And then after she's given her body to a few of these guys, she realized, holy shit, this is just empty bullshit. And it happens later. Or it happens too late when she's now given up all of her family and her solid relationship with the good men because she thought that she could do better. The whole grass is greener on the other side scenario. Because she thought that her value was higher than it actually was. So this is what we've done as a society. We've made women think that they're so amazingly awesome. Combine that with the fact that we have an internet that tells her that her body and her who she is mind-blowingly out there. How can she not be convinced? Think about it. How can she not be convinced that this is a true thing? When we have movies that tells her that, hey, the fairy tale is real and the rich guy that can marry the whole, pretty woman. You're invincible. You can punch a guy and knock him out. You are a strong, amazing woman. Roar, girl, roar. Combine all of that shit together. What do you think is going to happen to a woman's head? I'm trying to get you guys to understand. I want you to put yourself in a woman's position. If you had a society that was just telling you constantly, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing, and you had people online who were saying, oh my God, you're hot, even though you're 200 pounds, you're amazing, oh my God, that's a juicy ass, oh, you're so juicy, yeah. Average women telling them how amazing they are. Guess what's going to happen to that woman's head? And you're going to try to tell me that one man, her man, is trying to convince her, no, I'm here to actually tell you the truth. That's what that man is up against. So you want to tell me, can modern relationships survive this shit? It's hard. It's hard surviving in today's environment. So when I look at my sisters who both married over 20 years plus, I look at them in deep and utter admiration, because that means that we had a dad and a mom who showed us exactly what relationship was about. Yeah. And I think it's because we did have both mom and dad in the family, in the house, till death did them part. And I'm hoping that, my family watching the show right now, my extended family, the nephews and nieces and so on, they will see that, hey, relationships aren't freaking easy, man. They're hard. They're hard as shit. They're hard. But I can tell you what's harder, doing it on your own. Doing it on your own is a lot harder. And that is the problem. The illusion of thinking that they can do better will always make women make dumbass mistakes. But how you need to correct this is that you need to humble yourself and realize that the illusion that was created for me isn't true. It's not real. It's an illusion. I need a man to help me go through life because, one, we are social creatures. We are social creatures. My dear daughter Karen my dear sister Karen is telling me, yes, 28 years we know. Yes, they've been married 28 years. Okay. So point is that we have reached this point in our society where we have told women that they can do it on their own. We have told women that once you build yourself to a certain extent that you can do it on your own. But it's a lie. And here lies the big issue, right? and this is the last point I'm going to try to get across to you, to women, and for my sisters who think, why is it that I'm always talking about woman, right? Men did not break the contract. Men are still required to do exactly what you all wanted from him from day one. Protect and provide. Show up as a man. Be the man. And most men understand that that's what he has to do. Can he get there? That's a whole different story. But he knows that there is no other part of the contract that is required that was more important than that. Protect and provide for me. Cool? But women were told that they can do whatever the hell they want. That was never part of the contract. So females broke the contract. Females were supposed to be the helpmate. Women were supposed to be able to nurture and be kind, be soft, be submissive. Understand that the husband is the one that's running the family. You cannot run a ship with two captains. A good helpmate is part of the process. Okay, that's just part and parcel of what makes a good family. But a lot of women have, a lot of modern women have interpreted this idea that because a man is in charge, that she don't have any say. That is absolute bullshit. But this is what feminism have convinced women, that a man leading means that a woman, she don't have to, that she has no say. No, it isn't. I lead, but I listen to my wife. This is the point, is that I know there's the hallmarks of a good leader. The hallmark of a good leader is to listen to the people that he is leading, knowing full well that his knowledge isn't enough to understand the world alone. And having a good partner by your side that has a brain that is smart enough to say, hey, honey, have you looked at it from this perspective? Because this is what I see. And the man is smart enough to say, I never saw it like that. Ah, shit, we should consider that. I got to look at it from that perspective as well. Okay, thanks for letting me know. All right, cool. I'll look at it like that. I'll take that into consideration. That is general consensus of how partners, husband and wife, should actually communicate. But now we get, I can't believe you're making this decision that can't you see that this is going to be a mistake? This kind of aggressiveness is what disrupts the man's peace. Telling a man something versus asking a man something. Being overly aggressive to the point where it disrupts the train of thought. A modern woman will go into the workplace and advise her boss, oh, Mr. Boss, I was looking at this proposal. I was thinking that, have you ever looked at it from this perspective? She'll do that with her boss, but she'll come home and be ultra aggressive with her husband. That is not the hallmark of a high value woman. That is a woman who prioritizes her work above her family. A job that would get rid of her ass the second she falls ill, the second that they find somebody more qualified or more educated, you're out. Whereas a husband, he's sticking with you through thick and thin. And you're building your family. You're creating something greater with your family, but you put less mental effort into that. That is the stuff that you dismiss. So those people who have figured this out, like you said, brother, salute to all that figured it out, which is old heads. The younger people need to learn, and that's who I'm trying to get to, my friend. But this is in response to why I am talking to women the way I'm talking to women, is because the women are out of pocket, not the men. Not the men. The men know their job. Their duty has never changed. The requirements for a man has never changed. Never. I know that I have to protect and provide for my daughters every single freaking day. And part of that protection is teaching them how to be self-sufficient, teaching them discipline, teaching them how to protect themselves in the real world against others who would want to disrupt their life and make their life miserable. Teaching them how to interact with their peers and how to be kind, be polite, be submissive, and when I say the word submissive, don't think that I'm saying soft. Well, it is part of the process, but I just know a lot of people get bogged down with these words submissive. Submissive basically means asking questions instead of asserting yourself for dominance. I'm constantly trying to tell my daughters, if you want to be admired, ask questions to get clarity rather than asserting that you know something. But we've told women that they need to get out there and be loud and be proud. No, that's how you do this XYZ. Versus, hey, I was wondering, have you ever considered that if we did XYZ like this, that it might be better or worse? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? And just sit back and listen to them. Same thing concluded, but I will tell you, you will get amazing results from the previous one. Yesterday, I did a video on a woman who was chastising men because she was trying to put something in the overhead bin on the plane, and men were just sitting there ignoring her. Then she goes, "Can't you guys see that I'm struggling trying to get this bag here, and none of you are willing to help me?" One guy got up and helped her and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize." And she goes, "No, I saw all of you watching me. None of you got up to help me until I asked you." She shamed them. She didn't ask. So I was showing my daughters this, and I said, listen, all you have to have, if you were in this situation, you literally said, "Excuse me, sir. Sorry to bother you, but my bag is really heavy. Would you mind if helping me put it up the overhead? I really don't want to break my shoulders today." I can assure you that man or any other man who've heard that would jump up and try to help her. One is done with a question. The other one is done with an assertion and an entitlement that makes her less valuable and less desirable. That is the difference. And this is what I'm trying to explain to women, is that the feminine part of you has been eliminated by a feminist push that have told you that you need to become more aggressive in order to be seen and heard in a society. And I'm saying that's a lie. That makes you less valuable to men because it shows you that you have eliminated one of the things that men find valuable in a woman, which is femininity. Fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable. So we have to understand that this is the essence of being a valuable woman to men, and especially the men that you want. If you want a hyper masculine, overly aggressive man, that's what you're going to get. You're going to either get that or a feminized man when you're aggressive, because opposites attract. You know, the poles of a magnet, you know, the opposites attract each other. It sits in. It doesn't fit like this. And this is what we got to understand about the male and female energy. So value, I'm going to summarize by really just telling you guys here right now. Value is determined by the male. Value is determined by the market. It isn't determined by what you say that your value. No, you're setting the price as a woman. Until women get on their knees and ask men to marry them, they are the product. I'm just going to just say it. They are the product. They have the first right of refusal, but they are the one being chased. Until women are getting out there and chasing men down and getting on their knees and asking them to take half of their shit, they are not the prize. A prize is something that pays you back. A woman is not a prize. A woman takes from the man. I have never heard of a prize that takes from you. Which prize do you think that is worth having that sucks from you? Name one. None. Bottom line is none. A man will protect and provide for you. If a man is providing, the woman is taking. It is rocket science. It is not freaking rocket science. So this idea that women are the prize. No, you're not the freaking prize. You've always looked at a man as the prize. But the society have bullshit and brainwash you to think that you're a prize. And this is the problem. That's a parasite. Something that takes from its host and does not nourish or re-nourish it is a parasite. Most women today, and this is the harsh truth, men are realizing it now, that most women today are parasitic. They suck from you, but they don't put anything back into you. There is no harmonious relationship with a male and female. If a man is providing and he's protecting and he's there as a mate, a woman should be able to pour back into him as well. You can't keep sucking from a man, taking, and expect him to actually continuously give. He's going to go dry eventually. Trust me, I've been there. Not all men are a prize. Some are traps in disguise. Yes, of course they are. Of course they are, for sure. They're always exception. But the thing is, and I get it. A lot of women don't want to make that ultimate move with a man and make a mistake. She don't want to be with a man who's abusive, a man who's horrible. A lot of women make that mistake. But you know what has happened? The laws have been put in place to protect women from this exact same thing. Once again, men have stepped up and say, hey, we need to protect our women. In this so-called patriarchal society, we have stepped up and made the laws very clear that if a woman is unhappy, unreconcilable differences, she can just walk away. And you know what? She can take half the man's shit. Why do you think that this has been put in place? Because of not all men are prizes. Some are traps in disguise. We changed the laws as men to protect women from this exact same man. But what women have done, what the women have done is they have taken advantage of that. And they have taken advantage of good men and sucked his resources because they know the laws are there to so-called protect them. So they took advantage of it. So a woman will take advantage of a situation in order for her to survive. But now it's just greed. All out freaking greed. The kosher clinician. I don't know why I can't get these. I don't know where you guys are sending these donations through, but I can't get them up on the screen, but I'll read it. I created a term on my channel, Paul females, females, Paul females. Okay. I may do a series on it on my channel. We must collaborate soon as the email didn't work. Cheers. Okay, I get you. Paul, my email is paul@askanolderman.com. Come on. One word. Askanolderman.com. One word. paul@askanolderman. Send me a message. You guys can find me easy, man. It's one of the easiest emails to remember. It's just my channel name. I have my own website with Ask an Older Man. You can always find me. Email me and we can definitely work. Oh, there it is, the show button. It was hidden. Okay. All right. So by all means, do that. So my friends, we have come up to the 2-hour mark. I think I'm gonna lock it off there now because the old throat is starting to get sore. And I got one more show for the day as well. So, my friends, let me know if you have any questions at all. Last 5 minutes, hit me up with any questions or anything that you guys want to ask or comment on, and I'll read them out here. Okay, anything past Corny, and she's going to go through bull crap, and nobody wants to hear about it anymore. Those who do are glutton for women's punishment. I'm into the joy of women. Absolutely. Sean, kosher. I get you. Another good one, Paul. Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys. Bye, Sa. Guys, have fun over there at Rum Point. It is now 6 a.m. here. I'm going to hit the get outside walk because I get hyped up after these sessions. I'll do a 45-minute walk before the heat hits Dubai. And it is hot, but I tell you, it is scorching over here. You ever went outside and your eyeballs, the eyeballs are burning because it's so damn hot, because the moisture on your freaking eyeballs start to evaporate. It's like opening an oven. If you ever go out anywhere between the hours of 11 o'clock here in Dubai until 5, that's what it feels like. It's insane. I don't think I've ever felt it this hot. I've been here 16 years, and I'm telling you, man, it's rough. It's rough. But that's a side note. Hey, let me read some of the comments as I play you guys out. Hit me up. Anything you guys want to say, I'll pop it on the screen. Yep. Get some music up there. Yep. Hottest place I've been to was Camp Brewing in Kuwait. 125. Yeah, that's probably what we're at right now. Yep. Thanks, Paul. Love listening to you as always. Thanks. Thank you so much. My regulars are always there, man. I value is whatever is satisfying to us as a man. Absolutely. All right, brother. I see you. I'll get to that email. Prostitution in the sexual world. Yeah, it's going to increase. As economies get worse, prostitution increases. That's what's happening in China right now. The average regular man are the family men, and corny, lame, simp men are the best men for relationship. So when women get with those men, we will see change. But women don't and are going to fast. And who don't are going fast into... Okay, too many words, I guess. Laziness is the reason relationships aren't working. True. It takes work, man. Relationship takes a lot of hard work. And most people today just not used to hard work. Everybody thinks that everything should just come easy. And this is the biggest problem. Relationship takes work. Yeah. I'm a 36-year single mom by choice after adopting my baby brother. I can't find a good man for the life of me. Own my own home and business. I think that's the problem. No, that's not the problem. You need to humble yourself and realize what your choices are with the burden of another child. Because you're asking a man now to come in not only to your life, but to a child's life as well. And are you fit, friendly, feminine, agreeable? That's what men are looking for. If you fall into those criteria, the last one is, of course, child-free. But if you're not child-free, you better come with those other four in full force. Okay? You better. Otherwise, most men are just going to bypass you and look somewhere else. Steven from Trinidad. Hey, brother. Thanks for popping in. If she can't provide me, family, then she can be her own self. All she wants, I don't care. She can be her own self, all she wants. And that's the thing. I mean, women have to ask men, what do they want first? And provide that. Too many of you just so self-absorbed, just thinking about me. This is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. Relationship is two people. You cannot say to yourself, I want relationship and just think about me. That's not a relationship. That's a parasite talking. What can I suck from this man? What is he going to give me? The word relationship has to be scrutinized a lot deeper and stronger, because both parties have to freaking provide something to each other. Okay? I lay out who I am on the line up front. Absolutely. That's the way it should be. All right, my friends, listen, before you log off, just hit that like button. Just please, before you go, so that there's still 135 of you in the chat. So get me those likes up so that the algorithm can just push it out to people in the after show. All right. So my friends, listen, until next week, same time, same place on YouTube and on Facebook, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. I will be back. Okay. So until then, my friends, thank you so much for logging in and enjoying this time with me. I really appreciate it. Cheers.
Oh, stay focused, eyes front, hands ready, heart open, move with purpose. Every step like you already chose it. Yeah. Build it, rise from the dirt to the sky that climb. Calm mind, strong frame. I remember every word, every line. Listen to the older man. One voice in a loud world. Cut clear through the crowd words. He said, you already know the plan. You just need a honest man. Stay focused, eyes front, hands ready, heart open, move with purpose. Every step like you already chose it. Hey, build it, rise from the dirt to the sky that climb. Calm mind, strong frame. I remember every word, every line. Listen to the whole